Today on Truth Be Trolled, Dave Pino.
I'm talking some smack.
Is Dave Pino AI?
Ben ruins Just One of the Guys' favorite 80s movie.
Big Mike is just one of the guys. For those who don't know, Dave is a fucking nasty-ass guitar player, rock star when he feels like it, I think, and overall comic genius who's out there searching for the truth. That's my take on it.
Yeah, you got that about right. That says about all of it.
Well, thank you. The very nice introduction. Thank you very much.
It's really the most we could do, Dave. Mm-hmm. What's up, dude?
Not much. Oh, there's a lot going on, but I can't talk about any of it.
That's it.
There's a podcast.
I might change my mind.
I know. Welcome to the podcast where you're supposed to not talk about stuff.
Yeah, this is cool. I watch you guys on the security cameras. So this is really exciting for me.
Well, this is Frank's brother Dave, and they own this place, and that explains how he watches us on the security cameras. But do you want to talk music, tech, or weird shit, Dave? What's it going to be today? Because I was going to let you spin the wheel.
You're going to let me spin the wheel?
Yeah, dude, because you are versed in all of it, so we're all good with wherever you want to go.
All right, well, I mean, one of the things I was thinking about recently was how it seems like AI is creating all these videos that people watch online, and it gets a ton of views, and somebody's making a lot of money using AI. Are you talking
about sexy grandmas giving each other massages? Is that what you're talking about?
I haven't Googled that yet, but now that you say it.
All videos soon will be AI, because even the videos that are real have a ridiculous filter on it. So that's just the top. So I don't know. You really got to be discerning to watch a video online anymore.
That's crazy. That's a whole other can of worms. Is like, think about that, like for like evidence. If you were caught on camera or somebody famous was allegedly caught on camera doing something, or audio leak, you can just claim it's AI.
This is a product for sale. You can get like a fake finger, so it looks like you have an extra finger while you're committing the crime, and it's like, Your Honor, it's clearly AI. You can.
Wait, that's brilliant.
I think that's a real thing. Yeah.
Just claim everything's AI if you get caught doing something.
Yeah, Jesus. Sir, he's got 6 fingers.
Well, I've heard before that a lot of evidence now is no longer valid in court because of technology. Yeah.
You're seeing all these AI videos, and you think they're making a bunch of money from it? Why does it get? What are you talking about?
Well, because I see the AI videos; they all are in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of views.
Like what? Like just random generated shit?
Yeah, like self-help, psychology, those kind of.
I thought you were talking about like Trump playing a fiery guitar.
No,
memes.
No, I'm talking about stuff
that's supposed to be real, that's generated in a way to drive advertising. You mean
drive advertising? Yeah,
or
because that's ultimately
instructional or.
Yeah, instructional, but I think it has more to do with like spiritual awakening and like psychology and self-help.
But they're using just an AI person speaking?
Yeah, just an AI person speaking. Like that guy, Jordan Peterson, I saw a video, because Jordan Peterson is really great. So whenever I see a Jordan Peterson video, I say, this guy's smart. He's talking some real knowledge. But it's not Jordan Peterson. It's somebody who put his picture there, made an AI voice.
Oh, yeah.
Reading everything.
I saw you post that up.
Yeah, having famous people sell online is a big problem right now. But obviously deep fakes, and you just got to be discerning. If you're not discerning, you're stupid anyways. But even if you are discerning, you very well could be tricked,
I am so guilty of using ReFace.
Dude, you are a ReFace addict.
But I'm concerned. What concerns me is that I don't know if I'm going to get like called in. Like you said, the van shows up and I get just pulled in because I'm so good at refacing that they need to hire me for a mission.
Much of this place is refaced.
I mean, we are sitting in a ReFace cacophony. What is the word term for something like this?
Cacophony is pretty good.
I'm just using the app and using a couple of others. Over time, I get good at certain things.
Yep.
But
your talent will very soon be irrelevant, other than making it like the person that you're refacing.
Right.
So you clean it up, and the people who know this person will recognize this person.
Right.
There's a lot of good, I think, that comes from the ReFace and AI and having that ability. I think there's a lot of good, a lot of joy, a lot of loving.
It brings a lot of joy.
A lot of
absolutely. Really dark shit too that they're doing with that shit.
Well, that's the other side of the
coin.
That's
why I'm bringing it up. And the apps don't let you do. I mean, they're pretty strict.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but I love all of this AI shit is fucking great. It's awesome. It's a great tool. It's fun. It's funny, but not to bring up the dark stuff, but like just imagine what the version of AI that like the military has, right? If they let us fucking monkeys have this shit, imagine what they got. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that means world governments. So like Russia's got an AI, China's got an insane fucking AI, like way beyond DeepSeek or anything you've ever even heard of. You think Elon doesn't have some crazy fucking super advanced AI that they use privately for, like, I think every major world
Well, that's
leader
how they're
right now,
going through
they have
the
a-
USAID and all the other those shit.
that's how they're going through that. But even we're as a public even allowed to know about that. I'm talking about like all of these world leaders are, you have your cabinets and your administrations and your advisors or whatever, but they are all being advised by AI at this point.
You can tell which ones aren't, I'll tell you. Like AOC.
Well, she ain't in that club.
Just going right off the dome.
Yeah, ain't nothing controlling that girl.
Yeah, her, Bernie, they're going off the dome, which I guess I appreciate. But like,
Yeah.
I think at this point, even though you still have human world leaders, I think behind them is a super advanced AI technology that they're consulting in terms of what moves to make geopolitically. So I don't know. Is it for better or worse? I think AI is kind of already running the show. It's just, it still has a human face or facade.
There's this new Google Maps that I just got an ad for. So I was like, this thing looks sick. That apparently it's supposed to be like the most high definition Google, map. You can go into like a house, a forest or whatever. So I wanted to sign up to it, but it was asking me for way too much personal information. It wanted to know my location. It wanted to
They got
know,
it anyways,
what the
Dave.
heck?
Yeah, they got it anyways. You remember back when a guy named Edward Snowden, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh yeah.
How many fucking years
I'm
ago
sure
now?
Dave's got opinions on him.
How many years ago now did this guy come out and say, listen, they're collecting all your data, everything's being spied on, but what are you going to do?
Listen, can I say something? We got fucking Dave here. Can we talk about rock and roll?
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about rock and
You
roll.
want me to?
Let's get an awesome fucking road story. Andrew W.K,
Oof.
Powerman 5000. Waltham.
man.
I don't care. It's got to be killer though.
I know, but I don't want to incriminate
Who
myself.
cares? We'll bleep,
Well,
we'll bleep out the worst part.
I mean, my parents are still on this earth. I got family.
I hear you. I do understand.
I can't.
I heard a rumor that you worked for Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I could talk about working with Alice Cooper.
Do
Alice
it.
Cooper's the nicest guy ever, first of all. Second, his energy level was like a 14-year-old kid that I would sit at the cafeteria table with. He was so cool. And we would go to his house every weekend for I don't know how many months. And we would sit in his theater room and we would work on music. We would work on songs. I would write some, Piggy D would write some, and Alice would come up with all the lyrics. But a lot of the music Piggy D had the vocal melody for, and I had the vocal melody for. So there were instances where I had to teach Alice how to sing a song, and if he couldn't sing it right, I would think to myself, I'll just rewrite it. I'll come up with something. And Alice would say, no, I'll do it. Let me try it again. And he'd just keep going. He would keep trying. And he would struggle. But he would struggle until he didn't struggle anymore. And that's
That's
to me,
why he's Alice Cooper.
that's why.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So after seeing his energy level and his work ethic and his confidence, I learned something.
Yeah, he's awesome. I concur. I worked with Alice. My friend Dan Catullo hired me to work on a documentary for the Hollywood Vampires, and Alice, first of all, was so fucking cool. The nicest guy, had time for everybody. There was no he's an older man. He was none of that fucking hobbling around shit. He drank the blood of babies. I didn't know how he got around, and he got up on stage and literally kicked ass. He was great, dude. Fucking great.
Yeah,
Does he still tour?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just saw him. We went to Comcast, right?
Yeah, we did with the
Center.
three. Was it Marilyn Manson? No. It was Rob Zombie. It was Alice Cooper. Oh, it was Ministry.
Oh, right.
Oh, the
Okay. I
Ministry.
forgot about that show.
Yeah, and then there was a fourth band. I don't know who the fourth band was. I feel like such a jerk. I apologize if it was somebody I'm friends with. One of the greatest things I remember about working with Alice, or just being in his presence so much, was he was doing a golf tournament. So his wife was like, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta get ready." And Hal's like, "All right, I'll be out there." So we're out in the driveway, and Alice comes out with all of his clothes for the tournament. and not in a suitcase or a bag, just like this. And he just threw it in the back of his car. And I was like, that is awesome.
Was it like plaid golf pants and a little beanie and all that?
I mean, maybe it was in there. But he also, his son Dash also recorded some of the background vocals. And his son Dash not only is a great singer, he's got a great voice, but he is a professional. I can't think of the proper word, but like he knows everything about the most obscure 80s movies, the funniest stuff. And he would send it to me on Instagram or whatever.
So do you.
Well, that's why I appreciate him even more.
Yeah.
I appreciated him so much.
Yeah.
And I love it. I see him, we still like, communicate a little bit, but I see him like watching my stories and like clicking like and everything. And so he's an awesome dude.
Alice Cooper, ugliest woman I've ever seen.
Kick-ass performer.
I think Ghost ripped them off. Or not ripped. I love Ghost, but heavily inspired by Alice. Like Poison, wasn't it?
Yeah, everybody's
that's like the
inspired
greatest
by that
song
guy.
ever.
Yeah, he doesn't do this shit for almost 50 or 50 years without having some kind of strong formula and work ethic.
I think that song, though, Poison, might be Alice's least favorite song.
Of course.
He loves it. Obviously, he sings it, he does it. But I think there was something about that song that he wasn't crazy about, and I can't remember what. But see, that's a piece of information I worry about when it comes to this podcast, because I feel like
he was worried that it was only going to make him 2 million and not 3.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
What about Andrew W.K? I don't really know shit about him except he likes to like get punched in the face and bleed on t-shirts. That's kind of all I know. And that he raises his fist a lot and seems to be drunk a lot. That's
So there's pre-cat and post-cat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an Andrew W.K. before and after.
Can we just talk about Kat?
Well, dude,
Did she have work done? Because she looks almost like a strange supermodel all of a sudden.
I mean, who knows? It's Hollywood. Hollywood.
So weird. She's
Totally
drinking baby
weird.
blood.
But I never, it was not too long after him and Kat got together that the band fizzled. I'm not blaming Kat by any means whatsoever.
But it was pretty sudden, right?
It was pretty sudden. I'll never forget. I remember being at home and I had a flight the very next morning. And, well, thank you. I had a flight the very next morning. And I was, with my wife, and I was like, hey, I got to leave tomorrow for I don't know how long. So let's just kind of celebrate or, and get a little, tipsy. And my phone rang, and it was the manager, and he was, you guys, the show everything's canceled. Andrew quit. You guys are free to do whatever you want. And because I was tipsy, I didn't fully understand. I couldn't grasp what he was saying. So I was like,
free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, So I was like, what, do we not go to the airport tomorrow? We're not playing the show, but that was it. Andrew just deleted all of his social media, changed his phone number, and we all lost contact with him from that day forth. No one's communicated with him at all.
None of the dudes?
No one.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, to this day.
He time traveled. He's somewhere else now.
I think so. He may have changed, he turned into a beam of light or something.
That's the great part about being him. You can do whatever the fuck you want,
Did he start another family with Kat?
I don't know if he got her pregnant. I'm sure if he did, it would be all over the tabloids. But
Man,
he had just started a family too, not too much earlier.
Dude, he vanished.
Oh, that'll make a man vanish. Yeah, it will.
Andrew W.Cat. Yeah, it's like Benifer, right? It's like mixing names.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
They're a
that's
power
funny.
couple. A power couple.
Yeah, they definitely are. But you know what? Photos of him have emerged at parties in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
So I would see him. Yeah, somebody would be like, "Did you see
Diddy
this?"
parties?
No Diddy party. I don't think Diddy was there, but Weird Al Yankovic was there.
Oh. So it was the real deal.
Yeah, I think it was a cool party. A lot of cool people. If Weird Al was
Stephen
there,
Hawking.
yeah, he was there.
You ever been to a Diddy party, bro?
Me? No, but I feel like I almost was gonna go because of. But like I said, it was after an award show. It was after Guys' Choice Awards.
Yeah, of course it was.
Spike TV.
Diddy's choices, guys.
Yeah.
He's in trouble.
Were you there for Damone stuff?
No, I was there for People Mover stuff.
Oh, People Move.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, People Mover is another one of the 18 bands I've played in. That band, I can't even tell you who's really in that band. I mean, I can, but I'm not. I shouldn't because there's been a lot of
Banksy's in that band.
Yeah, it's an AI band. Yeah, But everybody that was in that band that's under the mask, the original guys, because there are multiple guys who wear the costumes and the masks, but the original guys are very accomplished and talented
There's two
songwriters
dudes in
and
each
producers.
suit. There's two dudes.
One of them's not a suit.
One
of
dude's a
them-
bottom, one dude's a top.
Sometimes even
One's
that's
not
all
a
you think
suit.
about it.
Yeah, they've actually found Sasquatch.
That Sasquatch is hidden in plain sight in People Mover.
Yeah. But that
living
was
his best life.
But that was, a party that band, I think we only lasted like 2 years before it
If
things
you all
kinda
showed up
fizzled.
with Sasquatch, you were definitely getting fucked if you showed up to that party.
Yeah, exactly.
dude,
Yeah,
there's no getting out of it.
They did have prosthetic penises that they wore in the suits that were covered in hair.
That's
that
fucking
they
too
could
much.
unravel. Yeah.
Unravel.
Big large ones, like the size of a friggin'
Were they
forearm.
floppy?
dude.
Could you helicopter?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Dragged in the mud.
That's some good flop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking A. What about Powerman, dude? You got anything on
Oh,
that?
Powerman? Oh, yeah,
you,
dude.
you moved to
Powerman.
Mars with Spider, right? And you were one of those guys that hopped on the spaceship and went to the other fucking galaxy.
Was
Well,
that after worlds collide? Stuff?
yeah, it was after what was it? Destroy What You Enjoy. I think it was after that I joined. And with Powerman, it's funny because it seems to happen with me in every band that I join, like me and like every organization. I feel like I become a part of like whoever the main person is. Like I end up being like the lackey or whatever, like a team, the second in command or whatever. So with Powerman, Spider kind of like relied heavily on me because I was the guy with the recording studio and I was a songwriter. Even though
Were
like
you making
Evan,
helmets?
I was my idea to make the helmet, so I found the guy to make the helmets up in Canada.
Right.
But as far as like the recordings and the songwriting, I think I wrote over 100 songs
Jesus.
for Powerman. I wrote and like they were bangers. Some of them were awesome.
Yeah.
I showed them to my
Some
brother.
were, yeah, some were good. Some were really good.
Who owns those now? The ones
Uh,
that never saw the light of day.
well, I mean, I own the publishing, my share of the publishing. So I still collect a little bit on that. Evan owns some, and Spider obviously owns. But Spider owns like 50%, and then me and Evan, I think, are splitting 50%. So it's 25 each. So the guy from the band Jackal, the lead singer, he has a record label.
Yeah.
And what he did was Spider ended up signing with him with the record, for the record label without really like consulting us or including us in the record contract.
Jesse Dupree, right?
Jesse Dupree, that's him.
Yeah.
So he did that, and I just thought, Spider's a professional. He's a nice guy, so he's gonna, include the other guys in whatever paperwork. But he
No
did
way.
not. He
No
did
way.
not. But I trusted him, so I was like, well, okay, I trust him to like divvy out whatever comes in. But then it wasn't working out that well, so I ended up taking over and I ended up making the spreadsheet like I always do. But that only lasted for like a year. Spider wanted to get off the deal so that he could sign with Rob's manager. This is such private information. So, anyways, he signed the deal with him, and then he just gave the record to Dupree. He was like, "You just keep the record, keep all the money, blah blah, whatever you want to do, just go ahead." And he went off and did the new record. I mean, some people could say I kind of got jawed or like left out, whatever money I was supposed to be collecting off those records, which I imagine by now is in the thousands, that, I just kind of got, shoved aside. But I don't care. It's only, even if it's like $10,000 that I'm not making, I don't care. $10,000, that's not enough money for me to change my life over.
Powerman was my favorite band on earth. They were so fucking good back in the clubs in Boston when we were young. And their shows were so rowdy and they were so energetic and it was so like organic and real. The bass, the fucking hand percussion. Spider was so cool. It was like he was on a morphine drip. Yeah. It was fucking incredible.
Dude, I loved it when he sang like that.
Yeah, me too.
My brother was the one that told me about Powerman, and you were the first one I called when I got the offer to be in that band.
That was sick.
I loved Powerman. I thought they were great.
I mean, I still see the VHS, the old VHSs in your old bedroom.
Yeah, no, I had both those. Well, the record kept on the same one. It was like True Force. and then
Bloodsplat.
and then Bloodsplat that became Mega Kung Fu Radio.
You know what else I noticed? Because I didn't really follow Powerman. I didn't know anything about the band. So after being in the group for so long, I was in it for 5 years. After being in the group, I noticed Spider's mannerisms and like the way he would rock out on stage and some of the stuff he would do. And then I was thinking, and I was like, man, that's kind of like my brother. My brother kind of does that stuff sometimes. And I was like, holy moly.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. I mean, it was a cool thing, but it was definitely like an influential thing that
On
I
who?
was Well, Spider influencing Frank. Yeah.
Spider influenced a lot of people in Boston back then.
Dude, he influenced Jack Black because in all the Jack Black movies, there's a reference to Spider with the characters in his movies. I mean, just look at School of Rock. The guy who would like play the guitar and like spin around or whatever, his name was Spider. And then also in
that's right,
and
dude
then,
with the heart tattoo.
And then the kid who played the drums, he wore the goggles and had the spiky hair.
Yep, he did.
So that was another reference to Spider.
And
Tenacious D.
It is Tenacious D, but wait,
the Screen Master 5000.
Yeah.
The
He's always
voicemail.
adding a number.
Yeah.
So I think he just has something about him that's inspiring.
3. That's at least 3.
That was just 3 off the top of my head.
If he stuck with it and didn't move to Mars, I'm telling you, he would have taken over the world because that real music was something else. He just didn't give it a chance to like grow big enough, and he switched gears and started adding, I don't know, I guess 4 on the floor and a bit of techno was the only way to put it.
Well, I feel like he has the same issue like any creative person has, is like you do one thing, it's awesome, you love it, but then it's like you get over it and you want to try something new. So I think that's what Spider did. He just, he's a very creative person because he does the band, he does the TV show, he does
films.
Yeah, he does films.
Yeah.
He does art, he's a painter. So like he's just a very creative type of guy, and with creative people.
Spider or Rob?
I'm talking about Spider.
Yeah, well, both of them.
And as a matter of fact, I think Spider is the one that started doing the music first. Rob actually got it from Spider. So I'll see Spider doing something in a music video, and it'll have like this big giant arm. And then I'll see Rob with a big giant arm later. I'm like, holy moly! Like I saw Spider doing it first, but I don't want to be talking crap about who's ripping off who.
I think they're both pretty good. I think Rob Zombie is obviously a different level, but it's kind of interesting that both of them come from
Haverhill?
the same, Haverhill, Mass.
Yeah.
40 minutes from here.
Shout out to Haverhill.
Yeah. They're both awesome dudes. Rob is the nicest guy ever. I went to one of Spider's birthday parties, and Rob was there, and he was so like, hey, do you want something to drink? Do you need something to eat? Do you want, hey, like, I don't know what you call that. Humble, definitely. Yeah. Hospitable. Yeah. He was very hospitable, and that, which I was not expecting because I never met Rob before. So I was like, this is like Alice Cooper. This is why he's Rob Zombie.
That mixed with work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you.
I think his version of Halloween was fucked up scary.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, dude, and it was way too real.
Yeah. He's done some good stuff.
Because I've been a part of some things that I'm not really like Powerman 5000. I wasn't a huge Powerman 5000 fan. I wasn't listening like Frankie was. And then like when it comes to like what Rob does with the horror movies and everything, even the guys at the arcade that I hang out with, they're all huge horror movie buffs. So they always want to go, hey, we're going to see a horror movie on Friday, a new one that came out or an old one. I was like, I don't really watch horror movies. You put on an 80s movie, something that shows, young girls.
It's a good movie, by the way.
Yeah.
What movie is that?
Who cares?
All right, exactly. Who cares? But like just one of the guys.
Yeah.
Weird Science, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Ben's trying to ruin just one of the guys.
Well, how you can't ruin just one of the guys?
To wait till he goes. If he decides to go there,
I would love.
He's got an argument. He's got an argument that I was like, shit. And I'll tell you about it after. But Karen also has a similar argument that you have.
I don't remember much. I can't word it the way I did when I was really trying to ruin the movie for you, but something along the lines of she looks like Daniel LaRusso with really nice tits.
Oh man, dude, I've had the same thought.
like if Daniel LaRusso pulled his gi open,
and had a perfect rack
at a karate tournament. And that's how he won.
All right, check this out.
Instead of sweeping the leg.
Check this out.
A
few nights ago, I was home. I was watching the kids, and Pressy's over doing whatever she's doing in her room. And Frankie was like, "All right, Dad, we can watch a movie." I was like, "Yeah, we'll watch a movie." So he's like, "Which one do you want to watch?" And he was like, we had gone down the list of movies that now he's gonna turn 15. Maybe we'll just bump it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Turn the heat up a little bit. And he remembered hearing that, just one of the guys, because some pictures on the walls of the doghouse have girls that we were inspired by when we were kids. So, but they're also the scenes where they may have been topless. So, so Frankie's like, okay, well, I want to see, just one of the guys, Joyce Heiser. Shout to Joyce Heiser, what's up? And I was like, okay, let's put this on, right? So we put the movie on, we're watching, and to what you're saying, right? I said, yeah, Mom doesn't want you to watch this, Frankie, because it's a little weird. And why? I was like, let me explain it to you, though. The only reason why she is pretending to be a boy is because she thinks that they're looking at her in a way that is keeping her from being able to get this summer job. So now she's going to go to another school and she's going to submit the same exact story to see if she can do it, but she has to be someone else. So she chooses to be a boy because she thinks that a guy is going to get an opportunity before a girl does. So I was like, that's what it is. And he's like, okay, Dad. So as we're watching it, I'm sitting there and I'm like, and he goes, Dad, she looks kind of like the Karate Kid. And I was like, wow. I was like, oh my God. And I have you, Ben, in my head at that very moment. I got you going, whoa, whoa, ha, whoa.
And now I'm responsible for confusing both you and your son for the rest of your life that you now are aroused by Daniel LaRusso.
Dude, that is the part where I had to step in as soon as Frankie said it. And I was like, Frankie, oh my God, I never noticed. I was like, yeah, you know what? That is weird. But I was like, it's the 80s. And let's just get to the part that the only reason why we're watching this movie
was the boobies, right?
Right.
So listen, if you're gonna show them boobies, I suggest Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Dude, but we've already watched that. So he's watched all of the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens.
Has he seen Fast Times?
He's seen Fast Times. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, no. So he's seen these movies, right?
What about Weird Science?
Weird Science he's seen as well. Yeah, no, he's seen all these. But it's just because these movies that he was like, well, which ones can we watch? And it's only because when you bring up just one of the guys in front of people who grew up on that movie in the 80s, yeah, the reason why they're like, yeah, is because of the scene where she opens up her shirt. Right. You know what I mean? But you never hear anybody from that time period look at it like, yeah, but, she's pretending to be a boy and happens to look a lot like Daniel LaRusso. You know what I mean? So that's when things got weird. When he said it out loud, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, okay.
He said that before the boob scene.
Before the boob scene.
So was it ruined?
A little bit? It was. I got to be honest, it was.
That's what, Daniel LaRusso's packing some heat.
Well, here's the thing. At the end of the movie, the guy that she befriends,
yeah,
they reconnect
right
at the end of the movie, and Frankie's, I could see him just kind of like, it's like, Dad, it's kind of weird.
Very relevant.
He thought she was a boy the whole time, and now that she's a girl, like he's able to not think that she looked like a boy at one time, and he's just saying it, and I'm like, all right, well, this movie's friggin' completely ruined for me forever.
Yeah, I was like, that's it. Thanks a lot. Done.
Thanks a lot. That is something that I would never have picked up on like that.
Yeah, that's because that movie was a fucking tranny movie. I'll probably cut that, Dave, so don't worry.
Yeah. We talk about Big Mike.
Do we want to talk about Big Mike?
Why?
Wait, am I losing my mind here?
Because Michelle Obama has a bigger ding-dong than me, bro.
All right.
And
I'm back in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Big Mike. I was like, Big Mike.
My Mike Michelle. That's what he says, Obama.
There's something swinging between her legs. A meat missile.
What's
dude? Freezer meat.
Looks like a kielbasa.
What's the new evidence that shows this?
Well, she was dancing, I think, on Ellen show or whatever, and her fucking linens were getting smashed. It's nonsense, and I don't support it until you know.
It couldn't have been a microphone cable.
It could have been. A bunch of microphone cables, like a snake. It could have been.
It could have been a whole mixing board.
Yeah, I'm saying it could have been 24 channels of microphone cables.
Yeah, and a spare mic in case there was an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she was wearing a carpentry belt and the hammer was swinging.
Could have been.
Maybe we only know about this trans revolution that's sweeping Hollywood because of Big Mike and his fucking massive dick. So Obama put it in motion so we could all be cool when Big Mike and his massive dick finally comes out.
If that comes out, that will make Michelle / Mike / she would be the guaranteed nominee for the Democratic Party.
I thought this all had to do with the coming of aliens.
I wish it did, bro.
Not
Aliens
today.
Coming is so fun to me.
Yeah, because CUMM. But I thought that we were trying to we were getting prepared for this new species of aliens that were going to come down and take over the planet or to reveal themselves.
Well,
because they're here.
It's the AI that's revealing itself, which is the alien tech.
yeah.
Didn't anyone
be.
see The Matrix? Fucking A.
Seriously,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
I mean, goddamn.
You got any other stories? Because we're at
right.
about our time, but
Oh, okay.
I just enjoy talking with you, Dave.
All right,
and
well,
you're going to
one
round at the door, and I'm not going to see you again for 3 months.
No, I'll be back in a week. One of my favorite stories of Powerman was we were watching Spinal Tap on the bus. The band was supposed to go on. Like, all right, we got 10 minutes till showtime. So I'm like, all right, getting ready. And I'm watching Spinal Tap, and these guys are walking around, and they can't find the stage.
They can't find the stage.
So at that exact moment, the manager's like, all right, guys, we got to go. And he's like banging on the door. So we all go to the front door of the bus, and we can't get out of the bus. And the mechanics they got broken or whatever, and we couldn't open the door. So we had to open the window and try to jump out the bus. Meanwhile, I hear the intro rolling out of the PA system. So I'm like, dude, the show started. It's rolling. We got to be
the
out
entire
there.
band?
The entire band except for the drummer, because the drummer at that same show,
He's the asshole that started the show.
yeah, but he got put in a closet by some dude.
Oh my God.
Who claimed that his girlfriend claimed that our drummer hooked up with this dude's girlfriend while he was dating her, so he had a bone to pick with him. So he's like, yeah, the drummer to Powerman 5000, but it wasn't Gordon. It was Adrian. It was the last drummer.
Old dude, yeah.
So he was in a closet getting accosted by this dude, and the rest of the band is stuck on the bus because we couldn't get out because the door wouldn't open. So that's my favorite memory. One of my favorite memories of Powerman.
My band was trying to get on stage from a theater underground where we had to go up and take a little bunch of hallways to get to this giant stage, and it was the same shit as the movie. I couldn't believe it. After literally 3 minutes of being lost and turning everybody in the band around 2 or 3 different times, I'm like, gatekeeper, Mrs. Presley, I'm like, where the fuck are we? I'm like, why can't we? And then somebody from the venue found us and brought us to the stage. It was fucking funny, but I feel you.
Can I ask one last question of you guys that have toured professionally and done this professionally? Have you ever had to have you ever had an emergency shit situation on stage mid-show?
The closest thing I have is getting food poisoning before a Powerman show. I got food poisoning.
But you played through it?
I still played, but I barely. I had to go behind my amp, and I had to, because I couldn't rock. And I had to have a barrel, and I was puking in the barrel and performing. So I'd be playing and puking, but nobody could see me puking.
Oh man,
I was just behind the amps.
And then you puking in your helmet?
No. I couldn't wear the helmet. But immediately after the show, I got in an ambulance and went straight to the emergency room. But dude, get this. I went to the emergency room, got filled up with an IV, whatever, liquids, fluids to rehydrate myself. And then the next morning, I rented a car and I drove to Chicago to play a festival, Riot Fest, with Andrew W.K. And then I had to drive that car back to the Powerman tour and play a show that night with Powerman after getting food poisoning, after being in the emergency room the night before.
It's hardcore, bro.
Yeah. But I did it.
Frank, we're looking at you to shit your pants now, bro.
No, dude, never.
No emergency at all?
No.
You've never felt faint or...
I got a bass
You
I got
based
to the face.
Yeah.
I definitely got a bass.
I think
to the
everybody
face.
that's been on stage a lot has fallen.
Well, you had a lefty bass player. That's dangerous.
It wasn't Jonesy, it was Petey.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When I met Frank and Dave, they were wrestling on stage. They would fight on stage. They would stop playing music and fucking give the people's elbow off the top rope to some random dude in the band, and they would all start fighting, and the crowd would have mouths open wide and be like, what is they're fighting, and these guys are fucking wrestling on stage. And they thought it was hilarious, and nobody else was in on the joke.
No one else got it.
You should
Night after night.
Should bring that back.
Yeah, you should still be doing that shit. AI can't can't
Well, they
replicate
did
that.
when you played. You had a wrestling moment when you all played that show at the in Cambridge.
Sinclair.
The Sinclair. There was a wrestling moment. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
But by then, we're
Daryl has the
professionals.
belt right now, by the way, just so we can make sure. So
for now.
yeah, for now. So it doesn't stop. Jonesy's got to get the belt back. So next time you see those two performing.
And I also have rehearsal footage of them rehearsing wrestling at the car wash, because we used to rehearse at the car wash.
God.
And these guys would just get into these wrestling.
Is it digital?
The footage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you send it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can send it to you right now. I got it in Dropbox.
Well, Dave, thanks, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That was all over the place. That was good.
Yeah. If you're with us at this point, well, holy shit. Thank you. All right, cool. Whatever, cool.